8-0.
8-2.
Nothing. And honestly, it wasn't even that close. The Angels didn't just beat the Padres tonight. They embarrassed them in front of their own fans, on a night that meant everything to this organization, and they made it look effortless doing it. And if you're a Padres fan sitting there right now trying to process what just happened, I completely understand because that was genuinely hard to watch. But before we get into the actual baseball, let me say something about the atmosphere tonight because it matters. This game was played with a heaviness to it. Garrett Anderson being honored, the moment of silence, Nick Punto in tears in the dugout. This was one of those nights where baseball felt secondary to something much bigger. And the Angels, to their absolute credit, showed up and played like they wanted to win it for somebody. You could feel it from the first pitch. That kind of energy either lifts a team or weighs them down, and tonight it absolutely lifted the Angels. Now here's the thing that nobody wants to say out loud about the Padres right now. They came in 13-6 on the season, 12-2 in April. This was supposed to be one of those nights where a good team goes on the road, handles their business, and keeps the train moving. Instead, Jose Soriano was absolutely carving them up from the jump. The offense went completely silent when it needed to be loud, and by the time the Angels were putting crooked numbers on the board, it was already over. 1-2-3 in the first, 1-2-3 in the second. 6 up, 6 down to start the game, and the Padres looked like they had never seen this guy before. And then Monata happened. Let me tell you something. That home run in the second inning set the tone for everything that followed. He got a heater, he sat on it, and he absolutely crushed it out to right center to give the Angels a 1-0 lead. And when a crowd that was already emotionally charged sees their team go deep early on a night like this, the energy in that ballpark becomes something completely different. The Halos were locked in from that moment forward, and the Padres never had an answer. Adam Frasier was the name of the game tonight offensively for Los Angeles, and I need you to pay attention to this guy if you haven't been already. He hits a 2-out triple that bounces down the right field corner, the kind of hit that looks like a gap shot and turns into something so much bigger, and suddenly it's 2-0 Angels, and the Padres' rotation is already in trouble. Then Frasier scores again on a base hit right up the middle to make it 3-0, and just like that the deficit is real, and the Padres are chasing on a night when their offense was already struggling to generate anything meaningful. But here's the hook that really tells the story of this game. It wasn't just that the Angels were hitting, it's that they kept hitting. Every time the Padres got close to getting out of trouble, something else went wrong. Joe Lowell with a 2-out double that scores 2, and it's 6-0. Then a 2-run home run to right field makes it 8-0, and at that point the broadcast is already joking about going 16-0 and just calling it 8-0. With the way this Angels bullpen and rotation was operating tonight, might as well have been 20-0 because the Padres offense had absolutely nothing going. And let's talk about that Padres offense for a second because this needs to be said. Tatis getting struck out on the sinker. Merrill going down for the second time in the sixth. Sheets stranding runners when they finally got a couple of guys on base. The knuckle curve was working all night, the splitter was electric, and every time San Diego had a chance to scratch across a run, something killed the rally. A pop-up here, a strikeout looking there, a ground ball to end the inning. It was one of those games where the box score is going to look worse than the eye test, and the eye test was already brutal. Now, Nolan Arenado, shout out to Machado for continuing to produce because he went 2 for 3 tonight with some really professional at-bats. But the story on the Padres side is that their best hitters kept coming up in situations where one big swing could change the game, and it never happened. And when you're facing a pitcher who has his full arsenal working, who is locating the knuckle curve for strikes and burying the sinker at 92, and your lineup can't make adjustments through the order, that's how you end up on the wrong side of an 8-0 final. Mike Trout walked twice and reached base multiple times and never scored. Let that sink in. Mike Trout, who has homered in 4 consecutive games coming into tonight, never scored a run. That's not because the Angels pitched around him out of fear. They did walk him in a couple of spots. It's because the lineup around him couldn't cash in. And on a night where the Angels were playing inspired baseball and every bounce seemed to go their way, the Padres' offense just had nothing. The Angels have now won 8 in a row. 8 straight. And they did it on one of the most emotionally significant nights this franchise has had in years, playing in front of a crowd that was already on their feet before the first pitch. 12-2 in the month for San Diego coming in, and they got handled completely. 8-0. Final. That's baseball. Sometimes the scoreboard tells the whole story, and tonight it did. The Angels wanted it more, executed better, and honored their guy the right way. Comment below, are the Angels for real right now, and how worried should the Padres be that a lineup this dangerous went completely quiet tonight? Let me know.